and your ministry as well as the UP government overall in being in a very safe position with respect to COVID today compared to a lot of other states, in spite of being one of the largest state, one of the largest populated and a very complex geography and democracy of the state. Yesterday I was reading a report of 5 most badly affected COVID states, and fortunately I saw that UP was not there in the 5 most badly affected. So one of the key reasons of this have been what we have understood and read and been hearing about is that quickly you formed Team 11 and the Chief Minister and the group of ministers, they acted very proactively by forming a COVID task force. And with respect to all the decisions you have taken, from the quick early lockdown to the implementation of lockdown, the scaling up of the testing, scaling up of the facilities for the COVID care, so quarantine facilities, everything has been working quite good till now. So one of the key questions, sir, with respect to, like, if I read few of the facts, that like in health infrastructure has been scaled up in record time. 78 hospitals of level 1, 64 government hospitals of level 2, 6 hospitals of level 3 with a combined bed capacity of 52,000 have been set up, covering every district of the state. 53 units manufacturing PPEs, 99 units masking sanitizers, and 412 units making medical equipment and medicines have been made functional in the state in the last 2 months. Third, the Yogi Adityanath government and your leadership, you have also been providing a huge economic relief to the laborers and the migrant workers, what you have been doing, and a lot of other schemes for the migrant workers, even rehabilitating them in the state and providing them job and all what you have been doing. So before Shankar sir starts with the conversation, my question would be, and this has been coming from a lot of queries because we are on live on Facebook, YouTube, and a lot of other channels. I hope thousands of people would be watching this, sir. Is with respect to the IT interventions. I didn't read much about the technology in the IT intervention. What UP government, like comparatively, if we see some things Delhi government has done, some apps and all, Hyderabad, the Telangana governments and all, a lot of other states, Karnataka have implemented. So what is your initiatives with respect to technology, use of technology in COVID management, and any roadmap or any immediate plans you have?
Thank you very much, and I'm been honored to be on your webinar along with other explorers here. I would like to tell you that Uttar Pradesh have used a lot of technology, but not as what other people or other states have used in terms of apps. We have consolidated our entire system on the basis of portals where we monitor each and every district from a centralized command center, which we made in our directorate, which collects figures of each and every case, and every case which is identified, their contact tracing, the surveillance, every home isolation person who is at home is being monitored. We have a technology which monitors them, and call centers will monitor from the state center to the entire state. And roughly we are doing about 25,000 calls per day. Plus we have district command centers which also manage the same amount of work. But basically what we've done is centralize everything to one point, and from there we get the figures of whoever is infected and the recovery rates and the death rates, and then we control and watch directly as to how many surveillance teams have been made, how many contact tracing, how many RR teams have been made, how much testing is being done. Everything is done from there. So because UP is a very large state and we have a population of about 24 crores, to manage it, we have a huge workforce also. Along with the health department, the government on its own, I mean the administrative part of it in every district, where you have a district magistrate and different types of administrative officers. Along with them and along with our medical staff, we have managed the entire process of identifying and the patients and putting them into hospitals or looking them after at home isolation cases, or the testing part and all the infrastructure which is connected to it.
Is likely to peak somewhere between January and March or April next year. Is there anything special strategy that you're formulated anticipating a huge spike during these months, especially when India peaks? Is there anything that you're planning now itself?
At the moment, we are not planning anything because whatever planning we are doing right now, because we are seeing the number of cases increasing in UP, and we have an average about 5,500 cases per day. And in the last 23 days, I think we jumped from 1 lakh something to 2 lakh something. And of course, the figures are all there. The idea is to only ensure that our bed capacity is available at every stage. We had already provided for 1,50,000 beds plus, 1,50,000 to something. But now we are also seeing a different trend in cities. We have about 10 to 11 cities which are heavily populated, especially the capital Lucknow and Kanpur, which is coming out with a large number of cases each day. To ensure that these cases are properly divided into home isolation, into L2 facilities where they can manage with a little bit of oxygen or with HNFC, or if they require ICU and critical care, then we have all these medical colleges. We've attached all the private medical colleges, good hospitals. Everybody is connected to our system now and become dedicated COVID hospitals also. So according to the requirement, we ensure that these patients are well attended to and they are shifted to this clinic. And then we have a lot of input in patients coming in from eastern UP and around Lucknow. So it's not so much that the Lucknow patients are in large numbers. The numbers show actually people coming from outside. And yet we have to manage with them also because we don't have that sort of facility everywhere just around UP. So this is what we opted, and I don't know if in January to March, if this figure, if the corona peaks or not peaks. At the moment, we are going through a tough phase where we're seeing it as it is peaking in all the districts and all that. So we are being very, very careful. And our basic strategy at the moment is only to do maximum amount of testing, identify all these positive cases, put them into home isolations as required, or give them treatment if they have any sort of problem. The more we take them out, the more we treat them, and then send them back to society is a good sign. Otherwise, these people are roaming around all over things. If they infect people who are 60 plus, or if they are infecting people in their families who have comorbidity, then it becomes a bit dangerous also. So we want to ensure everything that side.
The survey results will also tell you if your state is moving towards some sort of herd immunity, where people are protected. So that also might give you an idea.
Yes, exactly. That will give us an idea as to how much it has already spread and people have become like a herd immunity. Definitely, we will get definitely some results on that. And I believe some other states have also done it in different parts of the country where percentages are quite high, I believe. But let's see.
Yes, Delhi has done it. Delhi has done it. Pune has done it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that sort of thing.
I wanted to ask you one question. Is during you just spoke about lockdown, which had a lot of effect. Now, during this lockdown period, did the UP government take any steps to help non-COVID patients reach hospitals?
At that time, during lockdown, I think all the hospitals were also closed at that time. One thing I'll just tell you is that the deliveries took place continuously. We were monitoring that. Regular deliveries at our government institutions were carrying on despite the lockdown because you cannot stop those. Those are if the time has come, so they go to the hospital and they were used to. So we had a large amount of deliveries happening at the same time. And of course, we had stopped all OPDs in our district hospitals and our lower hospital also at that time. But once the lockdowns finished, we opened up our hospitals, we started the OPDs, we started doing minor and major operations, we started doing ANCs, we started having deliveries which were already being done, and we provided them with a lot of machines. You see, problem was our doctors were getting a bit scared that when a patient comes in, a non-COVID patient comes in, and he has a little bit of symptoms of fever or coughing or whatever it is, they would not treat them. So immediately our Chief Minister decided and we implemented TruNat machines in every district hospital of ours. That is 75 district hospitals we have and few other big hospitals which we run. So about say 100 TruNat machines we installed straight away. which would allow and give them the kits and a lot of other suits and things like that, so that it can be protective covers and everything, gloves and face masks and things like that. So all that was given to the doctors, plus TrueNat machine, so that they could ensure that any patient they felt was a little bit COVID infectious could be put in a holding area, and automatically he would be seen in 1.5 hours time or something. He will be diagnosed whether he is negative, whether he is positive. So since then, which has been almost now about 1.5 months, and we monitor that even in our COVID-11 meetings, the CM asks us every day how many operations, minor operations have been done. We have a district-wise data, and each district he can ask from any district as to this district and the name and mobile number, which doctor has done how many operations, which gynecologist has done how many operations, how many deliveries, everything. And also regular activities of the health department, which we started a little late, of course, because we lost out on April, May, and towards the middle of June we started doing a immunization program, which is a very important program all over India as well as UP, because we have to do the newborn babies, we have to get immunized, the basic immunization, and also other activities where we have vector-borne diseases in different parts of UP, malaria, Kala Azar, Japanese encephalitis, AES, dengue, chikungunya, filaria, so many diseases we have, and we have a program for each and every one. So we started all the programs from June, and we ensured that simultaneously they were also being done at the same time. We are monitoring those also, we are monitoring the immunization also, and the corona is being monitored separately, and all other systems are at the same time.
Is running like currently I am from UP and I'm started getting a lot of queries related to plasma bank. So I got a few calls from Gorakhpur and other places. So what is your specific plan? Because like for example, Plasma Bank by Delhi government worked out very well. They set up specified destinations as plasma hospitals, they turn plasma banks. So I came to know while I was checking yesterday that Lucknow Medical College also you have set up a plasma bank and plasma is available. But UP is a vast country, a vast state, sir. So is there any for plasma bank or for facilitating plasma therapy for the COVID patients?
Yes, King George Medical University has started right in the beginning. In fact, before Delhi started it, we'd already started doing some giving plasma to certain patients at that time, and it had come out in the papers also. Thereafter, there's a plasma bank in the medical college in Lucknow, and we are collecting plasma. And the idea is also in all the other medical colleges around the state, the big medical colleges like all the big major centers like Gautam Buddha Nagar, Meerut, Muradabad, wherever we have big medical colleges, they're already working. We want to start having plasma and platelet. All this we are going to have. We already have a lot of blood banks and centers and all that. So we're going to start doing that also, and collecting plasmas and then using it for treatment as and when required.
Thanks. So, sir, I know there's a scarcity of time. You also have a time to stop. So my last question to you would be that being the health minister of the largest state of the country, so what are the two messages you have to give to other states and other people with respect to any big thing which you thought would be good and it didn't work well for the state or for COVID management, any specific thing or one or two things, and one of the best learnings from your COVID management, sir, which other states can also adopt?
See, corona virus, COVID-19 is a virus which was new to everybody in the entire world. On one hand, you see Western countries like Great Britain or whatever, all these countries who are very highly, they have very sophisticated medical machines and all that, much more advanced than India. They went through the whole thing. When it came into India, with whatever our resources and whatever our infrastructure, we all developed our own strategies. And more or less the strategies are the same in each and every state. Plus minus maybe somewhere here, somewhere a little different. But otherwise, we've all managed our own strategies and tried to contain this virus to the minimum as possible. So I would like to say it also opened the eyes to the health infrastructure. And as far as I'm concerned, it's opened a lot of I've opened my eyes on the health infrastructure which is required to be doing now in this corona time, that we should now start improving our health services in a very big way. What has actually happened is the government of India or the government, whichever government it is, we've not been giving enough budgetary allocation for the health sector, which I've been saying for a long time, ever since I've come now. Ever since I've been come now for 1 year, I've interacted with the health minister in the center also. And I said, when the time comes, I said, now we have to think in terms of developing our infrastructure, medical facilities to the maximum. I wouldn't say that we must build more hospitals and all that, but what we have today is more than enough for our population if we can manage it by getting more doctors, by getting more equipment, by making it as good as the private hospital, because today the private hospitals have 70% patients go to the private hospital, 30% come to the government facilities. So now we must improve our facilities now. That has given us, it's a big eye-opener for us. And this corona crisis has also made us realize how we can use our doctors, how much they can work, and how we can do when you have a good team. When you have a good team, you have a good strategy, and you can ensure that everything takes place properly. You can systemize the system also in such a way that that the moment you identify a patient, within 72 hours, you must have a system in which the contact can be traced, the chain should be broken, and then likewise you start off with the other side where you put the patient into hospital or you put them into home isolation. That system generates on its own. Like whatever we've done, our technology is only at the directorate level where we monitor it through our computers, through our central monitoring system, where we collect our data from all over the state and then we put them together and then we take it out. So I would definitely say that this is the eye opener for UP, at least for us also. And so we've learned a lot of things from this coronavirus, and till it finishes, then we just have to keep improving our strategies from time to time, ensuring that our teams which are there in the field are given good rest also, given a little bit of leave also, because they are working round the clock. I realize that also because we are pushing them so much for testing, we are pushing them for contact tracing, and they are humans. So they need a little bit of rest. So getting teams which can substitute for different teams from time to time, and just ensuring the public through messages, through advertisement, that they must wear a mask whenever they go out. If required, if you don't need to go out, then you should go out as less as possible. You have to change your lifestyle now. It is not the same as what we had earlier. So you must wear a mask, you must keep a distance from other people. You must ensure that if somebody is not well, who's coughing and got symptoms, you should stay away from them. And ensure that you only go out when required.